So, our country's in deep trouble because we've been so nice, they've taken it for weakness, and now they think that they're in every major newspaper saying, kill the president, overthrow him, impeach him. They're all over the place lying because Trump actually does care about American people and workers and veterans and coal miners, and is actually doing something day one. The biggest stock market we've had in our history, $3 trillion added in the last 2 months. The best small business numbers coming in since 1984. Took Reagan 3 years to get there. Just taking the foot off our neck. That's all Trump's doing. Our government sold us out to special interests. They gave them our weapons, everything. I haven't scripted this with Tim or Quentin. I know you guys have made a lot of phone calls, a lot of really great people, some of the top, heroes and soldiers out there understand. As soon as they heard the call, they go, absolutely, we're already there. We're just waiting for somebody to, something to catalyze. This is the second American Revolution. This is it. All right, so Tim and Q, you guys, we haven't scripted what we're going to talk about here. Just from the heart, where we're at, what other folks you're talking to are saying, where this is going. Give the viewers, take whatever their comment is, hold up a sign in uniform, active duty. You're allowed as active duty to say support the president. You're supposed to under law, aren't you? To do this, it's so simple. Just be Americans. Just have solidarity so these enemies like Chuck Schumer and Pelosi and all of them understand, and Michael Moore, we're not putting up with it. So again, we have the famous photos from 3 years ago, people saying, I'm not going to fight for Al-Qaeda in Syria. We've just changed them to an example of what I would do. Donald Trump is my president. I am Donald Trump. If you all do this on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, call into talk radio, wherever, go speak at city council. We need you. America respects you, and the country's under attack by globalists. This is where you're needed in the republic. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, take over. Tim?
Exactly what you said. It's pretty upsetting to actually see the way our country's actually going right now. Not supporting the president, the commander-in-chief, and that's exactly what we need to do. Regardless of, who you are or whatever you voted on, this or that, it doesn't matter anymore because he's been elected president. Now that he is president, we need to stand behind him, we need to stand together, and we need to support him in every way he takes this country, because for the next 4 years, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly. And several years ago, we had a bunch of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, stuff like that, stand up and take pictures that they wouldn't basically partake in what would be war or illegal actions. We want you to do the same thing. This is a call to action. It's time to stand up. It's time to do the right thing. Write that same sign, draw that same picture, whatever it is, but this time don't hide your face. Show the world who you are and that you're proud. We understand. Tim was in the Marines. I was in the Army. There are certain things that on your uniform you don't want to show, and we fully understand that. We don't want anyone to get in trouble for what they do, but there's nothing wrong with supporting the commander-in-chief. The UCMJ, all those things, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing unlawful about basically saying that you support the man who supports us. Trump has been great to veterans. He has been great to the United States of America as a whole. And I wholeheartedly believe that his mission is to make this place great again. And so far, in just 45 days or whatever it is, he's made, astronomical changes for the betterment of us.
That's why they're so scared.
That's exactly why they're scared. They don't want to see anyone win. Basically they feel...
That's it. They're the only people that are supposed to win because they run everything.
Right. The only way that they can feel empowered is to divide everyone, to control them, to make sure they're poor, to make sure they're uneducated, to make sure they don't have jobs. I mean, it's a basic tactic. We understand that.
And it's just like we talked about yesterday. It's one of the just most idiotic ideas that these people have is whenever they're, like we said, like you said, the president of the United States, he's the pilot. We're flying on an airplane, and you have people that want him to crash and burn. But why?
That they want control.
Right. But they have enough money that they can take money, set it aside, do other things with it, put it in foreign markets and things like that. So if our economy crashes, it doesn't leave them poor. The ultra-rich will never be poor.
That's right. It's economic warfare. They're already doing this, saying all over the news, kill the president, crash the economy, burn down cities. And at a certain point, he has a responsibility to start going after these people.
No, he definitely should. And, it's our responsibility now that we're back home, for the veterans that are back home, they're not serving overseas anymore. It's our responsibility to step together and support the president, give him exactly what he needs in that support. You don't have to necessarily agree with everything that he says, but again, in the end of the day, he's the president of the United States.
The country as a whole stood up and voted. The silent majority is no longer silent. We've sat back and took it on the chin for 8 solid years. We didn't whine. We didn't complain. We didn't protest. We didn't go up and beat up people. Veterans didn't go out and attack the LGBT community or anyone else because that's not our style. We are not aggressors. We're protectors. It's how it works. So now that we've sat back, we've done 8 years of this. It's our turn. We expect the same thing. You don't have to necessarily agree with what he has to say. You don't have to wholeheartedly believe in his message, but what you do have to do is stop trying to derail the train. We're all trying to go in the same direction. We're all trying to benefit from this, make it better. And that's better education. That's better jobs. That's, better homeland security. There's all kinds of things that encompass it. Why would they let everyone know that Trump, the racist, gave any money to Black College?
And they have no proof. Remember when Obama said the number one threat's veterans, returning veterans and gun owners? Trump reversed that. Trump team wants anti-terror program to only target radical Islam. He actually did the order and told him to stop saying the main threats gun owners and veterans, but is radical Islam in the country. Trump delisted the veterans as the enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a big movement in the veteran community for quite a while when they talked about homegrown terrorists, basically talking about how, the veterans who came home from the war are the biggest threat to the United States, that they are...
We need armored vehicles for the veterans.
Right. Because you don't know, because they're unstable, because they have post-traumatic stress, because of all this other crazy bullshit that they wanted to do. So what they basically did was put doubt in the mind of those veterans who came home, who are having a hard time.
It was meant to demoralize them so they commit suicide.
That's exactly.
Yeah, they didn't.
Part of the
and I talked to a lot of people about that.
Globalist or Americanism, not globalism. I support Trump. I mean, whatever the message is, put it out. We'll post them to InfoWars. We'll retweet them. We'll Facebook them. We'll put articles out that I guarantee you, once this gets big, Drudge will link to, and the president will see it and will also give him support. When the country was on a knife's edge about to really end, and we got a last gasp here that if we take advantage of it, it'd be a whole new lease on life. And all over the world, people are saying no to globalism.
We took our first step by actually going to the polls and speaking our mind. There were a lot of fake polls. There were a lot of people saying that, Trump has no chance.
And they bucked the polls.
And that's exactly what happened. We just didn't fall for their rhetoric. We went to the polls. We all voted. Men, women, gay, straight, veterans, non-veterans. Everybody went out and voted. Everyone had their chance.
For prosperity.
Their mind. Right. And now it's super simple. We took the first step. The next step is now wholeheartedly supporting the man who's in charge. Regardless of the past, today is new. Tomorrow is new. All we want to do is do better from this point forward.
Well, and it's just like we, I served overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan. And during that time, Obama's 8-year, reign or presidential, whatever, I supported him wholeheartedly every step of the way. I might not have agreed with everything that he did, but regardless, he was the commander in chief. And so I did what he wanted. But now I actually see a president that I believe in. And, now it's our turn to step together. The polls and voting and us getting him into office was just the first step. Now the second step to secure our future, for a better future, we just need to come together. The veterans need to stand up and, actually go out on air or social media and then just say that they do support Trump.
The wiretaps, there's nothing there. There's not even phone calls.
There's nothing at all. It's, they dug as hard as they could. They tried everything they could. There's just nothing to find. He hasn't been in business this long, been this successful, and then all of a sudden now he's the bad guy. Everyone loved him 8 years ago. Everyone liked everything he's ever done.
Yeah, they only started hating him as soon as he ran for president.
When he became the president and they realized, oh, holy shit, he has a legitimate chance to unite the people. Then did he become racist? Then did he become a liar? Then did he become a womanizer? All those things that he's been now only because they see the power that he holds.
Well, he's been so smart. He did this whole pop stuff, all of it, just to get public attention to be ready for this. It's his whole life. Absolutely. That's the thing. That's why they're so scared now. Because, he got trained basically by Joseph McCarthy's top guy. We'll be right back. Oh, he's a Russian agent, though. We'll be right back, folks. Stay with us.
Thank you.